Okay, if you've mastered your social media organic reach, which is your content and your communication style, then I think you're ready to advertise. If you have a budget and you've thought about what you want to say and you have a direct outcome for what you want the advertising to receive, maybe you want somebody to purchase a product, maybe you want to get their email address so you can constantly send them emails later. Maybe you just want to drive brand awareness, which is a little bit less expensive. If you're ready to advertise, or if you've already started, then placing ads over social media is certainly a good way, probably the best way. It sort of depends. Like, I still like seeing my movie commercials on TV, but they work just as well when you see them on YouTube. So much so that I really like, I don't think it's important to even mention more traditional methods. You know, when I'm in the train station, I look at the signs. So TV still has a following, older people mostly. Radio, guys on construction sites listen to radio, but they're just as likely to have Pandora or some sort of satellite radio. So then, you know, picking your appropriate platforms and methods is key. It turns out that about 75% of people actually openly say that they're sick of advertising on social media. Social media ads, search results, social media optimization, pay-per-clicks. People get tired of seeing it. People get tired of seeing sponsored links, but it is the vital blood that makes the whole thing keep going. And so it's, you know, there's a relationship there that must be accepted. So there's 3 questions to ask yourself before selecting a channel for social media to advertise over. The first question is, where are your target customers concentrated? So for instance, if you want to target journalists with a piece of content, maybe it's better to advertise over Twitter. But if you want to target teenagers or visual artists, well then I think Instagram is a much better place to begin. You'll find much better customers there, more geared for what you're trying to say. Where are your target customers most accessible? So, you know, if you want to have an in-depth communication with your customers after your advertisement, maybe Instagram is not the best place. It's not so communication-oriented. It is, but not the most. Where are your target customers most actively engaged with ads? Probably Facebook. There's some research you can do about this. Depends on who your target customers are. Additionally, what you want to ask yourself is, what are their hobbies? What industries do they work in? Where do they get their news and information? And if your customer base is large enough to segment, here are 2 more questions that you really want to focus on. Which customer segments are the most profitable? And how are they different from the rest? I mean, what differentiates your target audience from general audiences? So what exactly are social media ads? They're ads placed in the news feed or the storylines or other strategic locations that people are looking. For instance, on Facebook, it's also in the video feeds. So Facebook allows you to scroll through videos. You watch your first video, which you chose, but then you can scroll up and you can see many other videos that they select seemingly at random or similar to interests that you have already in your page. And there's advertisements that get thrown in there also. Also, within individual videos, there's usually a point in the video where an advertisement will play. You can see when it's coming, and it's usually at the most interesting point in the video to entice you to watch the entire advertisement. They're profitable and versatile. In other words, you can make them what you want them to be, and you can test pretty carefully. And there's a lot more possibilities than ever before. And you can really make the most of information that users share about where they live or what they're looking at or who they are as a demographic. Social media platforms with the largest user base will have the most complete information about their user base, but it doesn't necessarily matter how big the network is because generally you pay for the number of impressions that happen. So it really comes down to how much do you pay per impression, and how closely can you target that one individual who you paid for. What exactly are social ads? Well, it's whatever you want it to be. You pay for space, and you can say what you want, and then it comes with a call to action. Buy this, learn about this, notice us. And if you want them to click on it, if you want to pay for the click and not just the impression, then it's a lot more money, because they're going to have to show them a lot more impressions to get them to make that click. But if you're just paying for impressions, no matter what happens, which is better for brand awareness, well then they're more likely to, you won't pay as much, and you're more likely to accomplish your goal because they will see it. The message's tone, the contents itself, and the user behavior all matter. So tips for designing social. Due to all this, we decided to test social ads, images, who abided to the brand style guide and were applied to all channels, versus new images created specifically with 100% focus on performance. So it's not just about the goal of the advertisement, because you want to stay true to the messaging of the brand. Because if they do bite, if you do hook them to come into your brand world, they're going to want to see that consistent messaging, and it shouldn't be so crazily different from the thing that caused them to come in. So you might not grab as many people if you stay true to your message, but you really want to. Do not overuse filters. You should work with distinctive images with strong contrast and striking colors. Grab their attention. Call them emotionally. Inspect elements to make sure they are properly aligned. And discounts or working with reduced prices are a good idea. Certain networks, I think right now I heard that LinkedIn and TikTok are cheaper than some of the other social media players right now, and that is per click. So it doesn't matter how many followers they have in total, it only matters how many clicks you got. So it's better to go with these lower priced platforms. And social media advertising is a subtle skill. The real key to it is split testing. Testing your banner messages, testing your photos that you use, testing the videos you associate with the content. And some will just work better than others. So maybe start with 4 photos and see which one gets the most attention. Start with 4 different videos and see which one has the most success. Start with 4 different headlines for your advertisement and see which one works the best. And you can't test them all against each other at the same time, or you won't know which one made the difference. So you have to isolate that specific test. So maybe you show 1,000 people each one of your different photos, and one has a distinctively better result. Well, now you can move forward with just that one photo, and now you can test 4 different taglines, each with that one photo. So this is how you isolate your tests, and you split. And there is a mountain of information on social media advertising. I highly recommend you look into it. Don't just jump into it. There's just so much that could be said. But if you can master the concept of split testing, then you'll be further along than most other people. So I wish you the best with it.